much talked about domes, iron domes essentially, and how it works. Detection and tracking radar detects incoming targets within a 100-kilometer radius. It provides mid-course guidance to the Tamar interceptor missile. That's how it really works, to protect its people. Battle Management Control calculates the impact point of an incoming missile. Intercepts those that will fall in a protected area. So it's got limitations as well in that sense. The Tamar interceptor missiles, each launcher can fire up to 20 interceptor missiles against incoming targets. That's how essentially it works. Like our colleagues have been pointing it out to us, it clearly has its own limitations, and it's clear that as far as the 180 missiles, Geeta, that were fired into Israel last evening and that continued up until late last night, a lot of it could not be intercepted successfully, isn't it? And it's a bit of a setback in that sense to Israel.
Well, that's right. But there were two. There were two very important interceptors last night to contain the damage that would have been caused had the Americans not come out in support of Israel last night. So it's not just the Iron Dome; it's also the warship, the American warship that also sent out a barrage of anti-missiles and intercepted quite a few of the ballistic missiles that were on their way to Israel from Iran. So it was a two-front war, so to say, an aerial war to intercept and destroy ballistic missiles in air itself before they enter Israeli territory. Having said that, like you very rightly pointed out, the Iron Dome is impenetrable only when the numbers are contained within a certain the numbers are within a certain range and limit. Beyond a certain limit, if you have 180 to 200 missiles coming your way, the Iron Dome cannot intercept all those together at one point in time. It has a capacity, and therefore the Iron Dome was breached. Having said that, it still had a lot of support. Israel still had a lot of support, not just with the strong Iron Dome, but also from the warship, where the Americans intercepted a lot of these missiles and destroyed them midair. So in a way, the Americans are already there supporting and ensuring that there is least damage that would be caused because of the missile attack by Iran. But nonetheless, like reports are coming in, the airbase and the Mossad headquarters being attacked by Iran is a huge damage to Israel. How much of a damage is it? How much of this attack is going to contain or hamper Israeli capability when it comes to aerial attacks that they carry out from those very same bases is something we'll have to wait and see. But yes, the Iron Dome, one that Israel prides herself in, has been breached. Not the first time it happened, even in April, when the commanders, Iranian commanders, were killed in a consulate attack in Syria. And in response to that, Iran had, again, sent out a barrage of missiles, but then there was no success that Iran found because only a few could breach the Iron Dome. But I suppose that was one way of Iran trying to learn exactly the strategy and how to really make this entire operation work. Should they be using so many missiles at one point in time? You're talking about a lot of arsenal being used up for one attack. So Iran has used up about 180 to 200 missiles for one attack in one night.
Absolutely. Like Geeta, you were pointing out that there are several vulnerabilities also when it comes to Israel's Iron Dome. We'll talk to you about that. But for the moment, I'm going to thank you, leaving it at that, Geeta, to tell our viewers about the vulnerabilities. Now, what really happens is that it can possibly, the Iron Dome system can possibly get overwhelmed by massive barrages exceeding the system's intercept capacity. If there are too many missiles getting fired, it can get overwhelmed. High cost per interception makes it unsustainable during prolonged attacks, during prolonged conflicts. Sometimes struggles with low flying or unconventional missile trajectories. So if it's taken a trajectory, the missile is taken a trajectory which is not the usual one that it usually takes, then there could be a bit of a problem intercepting it. Limited range means it can't cover all the target areas. Countermeasures like decoy rockets can also confuse the Iron Dome system. That's also a bit of a problem with the system. Occasional technical malfunctions can allow some rockets through, like we have seen in yesterday also, where out of the 180 missiles, and Israel hasn't come out in great details about how many could be intercepted, but clearly the sense is that there were many that went intercepted. The reasons, as we know, could be many.